Check, check. Yo.
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I just gotta turn it up. Try that.
Got me
Yo.
now? What's up?
I do.
Can
All
you hear
right.
me?
Yeah, I just gotta turn it
Awesome.
up. Try
So
that. We're live. How's everybody doing today?
got me
Yo.
now? What's
We've
up?
got the DFS NASCAR Raceday
All
show,
right.
Quaker State
Yeah,
400
awesome.
today. I'm gonna mute my other
that.
screen because it's freaking annoying. Had a new few setup things today. Hey Joe, hey Jeremy, I see you guys are in chat. What I did today, made a mistake twice. I'll just start off with this hilarious me being stupid story. We seem like we have one of these technical issues every single show, and your producer here, Dane, is learning new stuff and keeps trying to add shit every single week, every single show, and there's been issues. So today, I set up I want to do a quick screen share here with everyone to show them the sheet and some things I'm looking at, some things that I'm adding. So what I did with that was set up some hotkeys so that when I'm using my like OBS recording studio or whatever, when I'm recording it and then screen sharing it into YouTube, what that problem was is I forgot what my hotkeys were, and as I'm setting up the show, I hit start streaming. So I actually streamed for about 5 minutes, not even knowing it before. And I went to set up and share the show. It's like, you are streaming live. I'm like, oh shit. This must be goddamn exciting. And the screen share was the golf leaderboard. So everyone got to see the golf leaderboard. And then I just did it again as I was hooking you up. It's like, you're live. And someone's like, or Jeremy's like, oh no, he's live. I'm like, oh shit, did it again. So I need to figure out what that hotkey is. Before the end of the show, or at least by next show, I'll have that figured out. But anyways, back to finish this weekend off here at Kentucky. Had two Xfinity races. I got to see pretty much both of those. They were friggin' awesome. Cindric kind of dominated. The Fords looked amazing. Hilarious that there's two Fords in the whole Xfinity series, and they've got 7 of the 15 wins. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was both of those races were pretty wild, and so was the truck race. I mean,
Yeah.
it was fun watching people try to take the lead from somebody else because they have to drive it in there so hard, and then they can't hardly hold on to it. I think kind of transitioning to this race, it will be a little bit more easily done by cup drivers just because the package and the car that they have. It's not easy, but they can drive it in there and hold on to it a little bit
Yeah.
better than those guys could.
Yeah, I agree. Though I was kind of cheering for. We also had a fight. I was cheering for Gregson.
Yeah.
He was kind of my guy this weekend. I got the laps led. The Dominator side of it. It was a career high laps led, I think, for him in that first race on Thursday night. So I got that right, and he kind of did pretty good there. I went back to him on Friday night. Didn't really work out. And at the end there, if anyone missed it, just go to YouTube and just search Harrison Burton and Noah Gregson. They were talking after in the garage. They had staged, I think, the top 3 cars on pit road still. Everyone else was off to the garage, and you could see them talking back and forth. And Harrison kind of pushed him once and then twice, touched him the third time in the chest, and Gregson popped him one right in the face. That was pretty much all you see in that video. I don't know which side draw, and I know a lot of drivers are not fans of Gregson, just kind of the way he races. He really reminds me of a Kyle Busch, just out there pissing everyone off and not really giving a shit about anyone on the track. Just kind of, you'll do whatever to win kind of thing. So he kind of reminds me of that, so I get why he gets on a lot of people's nerves. But I thought that was actually Gregson's fault in that it looked like he kind of got loose and pushed Burton up the track, which kind of caused the whole thing. So it was definitely interesting. I think Harrison had a point going over there, and it was awesome. He probably gained a lot of brownie points from other drivers in the garage going up there and sticking up for himself.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that it was. I mean, it was definitely Gregson's fault,
Mm-hmm.
but kind of just because the way the track is. I mean, he was down on that bottom groove and kind of slid up into him, racing hard. I don't think it was anything. He was just trying to wreck him or anything, but yeah, it adds to his kind of reputation, and like you said, maybe it'll help out Harrison a little bit. The two young guys going after it, so maybe that'll be something fun to watch as they transition here in a few years to the Cup cars.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, this race, 267 laps. I'm just going to go off the track information on the sheet here. So we've got 267 laps. So the Kentucky Speedway, this is the ninth, no, this is the 10th race since it's been in the Xfinity Series, I believe, going back into the early 2000s. But this is only the 10th race for the Cup Series here. So we've got 9 races to go off, and we've got some interesting data from that. We've got 17 degrees banking in turns 1, 14 degrees or turns 1 and 2, 14 degrees in turns 3 and 4. The stages are 80, 80, and 107. In the past, we've seen at least one driver lead 100 plus laps in all the races, all 8 of the 9 up until last year. We had 5, actually 6 drivers lead 19 or more laps, and 4 lead 40 or more laps. So I guess my first question, always when we're talking intermediate tracks and dominator points, how many dominators are you looking at? And Dane's article was just up this morning over on RotoPros. I'm going to share that in chat here shortly, but I'll let him elaborate on the dominator thing.
Yeah, I'm looking. Originally, before I started building, I was looking for probably 2, and that's kind of where I would stay, especially if I was doing like a 20 max or something type build. I kind of like the core that I have this week, so I'm not doing that. I think I'm going to have 3 lineups just because I like the guys, and usually when I can zero in on a certain type of a build is when I don't do a 20 max. But for dominators, I actually landed on in a couple of them doing hand builds on 3. And I think I'm actually okay with landing on 3 as long as the third guy or one of the 3 guys has a little bit of place differential upside, maybe starting 10th or right around it, that can finish top 5 and just add a couple more to their baseline. So I probably two to 3 for me. What about you?
Yeah, I'm looking at about the same. I'm just gonna finish sharing your article here. I won't be able to read it until we're done here, but I had a few notes on dominators actually this week, looking at those 9 previous races, and what I'm looking at
The
here,
pole sitter. I mean, that's
it's been big. Yeah,
kind of what I've been looking at coming in this week. Has been a lot of the pole sitter. So I think Kyle Busch can get out there and lead one. He's going to be one of my core plays and one of my dominators for sure.
okay. So, looking at those last 9 races here at Kentucky in the Cup Series, there's been 29 drivers who have led 20 or more laps in any of those races, just scattered throughout all those races. 25 of those 29 came from the top 10. That seems very, very high to me. When I break this down on a weekly basis, I'm going to start a database kind of looking at stuff like this. I know this is a different year, so we always got to take that into consideration because a lot of those drivers that are starting top 10 on those normal years, 25 of those drivers were obviously had speed in practice going into qualifying as well. We don't have that this year. So that's one thing that I will take away from that. But that seems really high, 25 of 29. 19 started top 5. So 19 out of 29 drivers started top 5. Those were guys that led 20 or more laps. And 7 times, so 7 of the 9 races, one of those lap leaders came from the pole. So I just want to go over and share something this back, see if that works. Oh, Dane, the hotkeys are working, man. Things are going good. It's going to be a good day today. It's going to be a good day. So
You got it down. We're
I
ready
got
to
it
go
down.
now.
I got it down. I kind of went back and forth, and this was the first question in chat today. Was Kyle Busch starting on the pole? We all know his struggles, not just since the return, but since since pretty much all season since he won the championship. And looking at his championship season last year, he had 4 wins before that championship win. They all came in like the first 15 races. He had 0 wins all the way up until he won the championship. Now this year, he's struggling. He struggled before, like seeing him when I was down in Phoenix, seeing him at a track that he's been absolutely dominant at, not lead any laps and just kind of hang out around top 5. It's awesome. I mean, if his bad side is top 5, I think that's really good for him, but he's a guy that's, up there leading laps. I want to look at his laps led for the season here. He has got a total of 130 laps led this year, and I think they all came in like 1 or 2 little groups. He is not. I had him as a core play. I removed him just because I don't think he's going to be able to get out there. I think we got competition caution at 20 today. And then the stage 1 is at 80. He does have a good pit crew, so if he can lead those first 20, I think he can get out and lead 30 to 40, I guess you could say. I don't know if that's going to be enough. That kind of, if a top 5 finish, that puts him at about 48 points. If he leads that many, I think we need, him to be the top dominator. He is 6th in price, and that's another thing I'll touch on here in a minute. But my dominators, top dominators, is Harvick for sure. I mean, how do you go away from Harvick and Hamlin here leading laps? Just they've been absolutely dominant ahead of the field. And then Truex I've got down. He's been dominant here. When he's been dominant, he has led he's one of those 100-plus laps led guys here. So I've got him down. I've got Kyle Busch down for 50 right now, same as Truex, but I'm probably leaning more Truex than Busch. And then Blaney. Chase Elliott I've got in for a few laps led as well. So I've got it 5 guys right now, but I'm kind of narrowing it down to Harvick, Hamlin, and Truex are my favorite 3, I guess I could say right now.
Yeah, I think so. I guess, on the other side of Kyle. I mean, we're fairly similar thoughts. I'm just kind of, I think he can lead until the competition caution, and I'm going to take the gamble that his pit crew can keep him out there in the lead, and then get out to say a 50, 60 laps led at least. And then if they keep working on that car, I mean, he's got to turn this around sometime. You would think. I know that's not the greatest analysis for why to pick somebody, but he's starting out on the pole. I think he can do that, and maybe that's where the 3 dominator lineups come into play. If he doesn't and still finishes top 5, he could still be in the winning lineup if you hit the other 2 dominators. So Kyle is definitely the starting point for me with Truex, 9,200. That's kind of crazy to me, that especially that he's priced below Boyer. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't really understand that one, but him and Kyle are both the top place for me as far as dominators. And maybe that's a mistake on my part, going away from Harvick and Hamlin, who have just been absolutely crushing it since we returned. One thing I was trying to do, those are my top 2 dominators, and then Blaney is actually 3rd behind them. Just
don't
because,
mind that at all.
I think he's been driving. The car's been fast. He's been driving really well recently as well. He does have a 2nd here a couple years ago, so I mean, he knows how to get around. I just like the way that car's looked and everything, and he can be that 3rd dominator that starts outside the top 10 in your lineups as well, and can push a top 5 finish for you, and have that baseline of some place differential, but has the upside to lead as well. One thing I was thinking when I was building, just kind of hand building, playing around, and I was trying to decide if I wanted to go 3 dominators or just drop down and maybe do some 2 dominators with more place differential. It's kind of one thing I was trying to do is get up to Bell, and that's where I'm at with Bell this week. He's not going to be a priority for me for sure. Similar to our last couple weeks' thoughts, I mean, he definitely has the upside to get up there and make a top 10 finish and pay off that price tag of starting back in 34th. Is he ever going to get started back up there in the 20s? I mean, this is getting kind of ridiculous
silly.
every week. I think I messaged you. Oh, we just got news. Truex and Kenseth dropping to the rear.
Interesting.
Failed tech. So right in the middle of me talking about dominators, now
Got to switch things up.
Honestly, I mean, Truex, I think you can